Hey man, what are you doing? Is that your new shield?
Yeah, I just got it.
Where'd you get it at?
I think I got it at Academy.
Academy?
Yeah.
Man, that's cool, dude. I got one too, man. Performance Center, Hive Technologies upgrade, magazine extension. We got the Monarch trigger, TLR 6 light laser combo, dude.
Why you always gotta outdo me?
It's just a gun.
Off on the love of guitars, girls, green grass, and guns. Yeah. I was busted outside.
What's going on, guys? Andy and Randy here for G4 Outdoors. Now, I've been bugging this guy for a while. I actually purchased my shield a couple months probably after you got yours, and he has still never fired this pistol. I've fired mine quite a bit, and I've done a lot of stuff to it. It's just kind of the way I am. I like to make things my own. But I want to do a comparison with the things I've done to this gun and it having the Performance Center, ported barrel, trigger upgrades, plus my trigger upgrades. Can you tell a difference? That's my question. He's never shot this gun, plain Jane and stock, and he's had it for like 6 months. Mine's been fired, but I want to see if Randy can tell a difference between the two and the stuff that's done. So basically my comparison is there a difference between a Performance Center gun, ported barrel, a little bit less on the recoil, kicking you down a little bit maybe, a little easier to control. As you can see, they are the same, but does have the ported barrel. So let's let Randy get into some shooting and see if he can tell a difference, actually.
I have owned this gun for quite a while. There's no excuse for me to have not brought it out here to the range. Just haven't had the desire to shoot it yet. I thought I really wanted this gun. I don't have any emotional attachment to this gun. That's why I didn't have any problem throwing it out there. So yeah, let's get into this and see what I think of this and then run into Andy's. Got a really long, gritty trigger pull. Felt all right on the recoil. That's not a bad gun. The trigger is pretty noticeably, you know, the trigger's there for sure.
One of the things I noticed with it, and when I had my stock trigger in, even though I'm off camera, when I had the stock Performance Center trigger, which is supposed to be an upgraded trigger, it still felt like the gun might have been dropped in the sand on the beach, is how that grittiness reminded me. Like there's something stuck in there. It's not a quality trigger by any means. I don't care for the trigger at all. But
another thing, I'm just nitpicking, but this little swell right here is a little large for my hands. Right here, on the very back, I'm starting to feel, it's not painful, don't get me wrong. I'm starting to feel a little pain right there.
You notice it. You definitely notice it. Put a couple more rounds in her.
Yeah. All right, this is my gun. I've just got Andy's extended mag in here, so let's see how she really shoots. Well, I'll tell you what, that slide release is very hard. As far as controllability on all of that shooting, I've definitely shot guns that are more controllable. A lot of that comes down to your cadence as far as you being able to get back on target really nicely and quickly. So I don't know, first impressions, I like the gun. It will be a beater. This will probably stay in my truck, but as far as an everyday carry, this just isn't in my wheelhouse, but it's always nice to have a gun to have around that you don't really care about. Again, no emotional attachment. I don't love it, but it does the job very well. So, hey, let's check out Andy's to see if the trigger, the ported barrel, or any of the other shenanigans he's done to it has made a difference. All right, so now this one here is Andy's Performance Center with the trigger, the ported barrel. Same exact gun, just a little bit. The only difference is the barrel and the trigger, so let's see how she does. Again, the slide release is very, very hard. God. Oh, he has a safety on his. Mine doesn't. That was the heaviest trigger I've ever felt right there. Woo! That's a trigger. One thing I am noticing about both of these, the groupings on them are not stellar in my opinion. I don't know if you can see down there. 7 yards, I'm shooting 4-inch groups. Yeah, through both guns. As far as muzzle rise on this one, I think the ported barrel might actually help out. I thought it was a gimmick, but I think it does. I really do. The trigger, you know, when I felt it earlier, it did
you by surprise.
It did feel a little crunchy, but it went off with a surprise.
I want you to do this real quick. We're gonna put 2 in the mag. I want you to fire it, keep the trigger depressed, feel where it comes back to.
Yeah, it's got a really nice reset on it. That time I really tried to pay attention to the muzzle flip and the concussive force of it. The muzzle, is it a muzzle brake? The ported barrel actually makes a difference. Not a huge difference, but enough difference to think maybe I'm shooting a different gun. The Hive Technologies trigger, he says it still feels the same, but I don't think that he's shot a regular one yet. Let's get Andy over here into the original Smith and Wesson Shield and compare it against his own performance center with the upgrades. Because I tell you what, I'm a fan of the one with the upgrades for sure. The performance center, yeah, I think really does outbeat the regular one. So we're clear over here. Let's shoot them up, cowboy.
And something I will actually tell you guys, I'm new to guns. In all honesty, maybe about a year I've kind of been into guns. I installed everything on this gun myself. It doesn't take a gunsmith to do this stuff. I installed this trigger myself, all this stuff. So it was kind of cool being able to take the gun apart a little bit and understand the mechanical, like how it all works and how it runs. And yeah, it's not rocket science, and I do believe this made a big difference. Yeah. All right, guys, we got Randy's shield here. I got the +2 in it, so I should have 10 shots. I believe that's what we loaded. We'll go ahead and put some shots down range. I don't hate it. I know it's there, but there is a huge difference between that Monarch trigger and this 2-stage stock trigger. And I can even tell you there's a pretty big difference between the Performance Center trigger and this one. There really is. Yeah. But I feel like I'm shooting my gun still. I don't notice the recoil or the kickback that much. You definitely tell this trigger's there.
So I was kind of laughing behind the scenes, and we had a little chat beforehand, which might get the middle off metal. Yeah, I was having a little chat beforehand about how Andy has never even squeezed the trigger on this gun. I've only squeezed it at the gun shop when I bought it. And
it's disgusting. But for what it is, it's good. It's a fun, easy gun to shoot. So if you're going to throw it around the truck, keep it in a drawer, it's a good gun to have around.
Yeah, this gun will definitely be used. You know, might stay in the truck, might stay right next to the bed, anything. But hey, huge difference between...
We'll bring them both out. We'll talk about it on camera.
Performance Center in this. So, like I say, he's never shot mine. I've never shot his. Matter of fact, I've never even shot either one of them. Yeah, some things just didn't work out and I didn't get the gun I really wanted. So this was next in line and I got it. But I'm telling you what, the Performance Center, do you know what the cost was on the Performance Center?
I think 50 bucks more than that one.
50 bucks. But you put a trigger in here afterwards.
Yeah, I put a trigger and done some other little minor bowl stuff.
But your Performance Center originally still had a crunchy trigger.
Now here's the other thing that's upgraded on that gun. What do you think about the sights? Did you notice anything different about the sights? Were you liking the fibers a little bit more than the white sights? Did you notice anything with that?
I've never been a fan of fiber optic sights, so they just are what they are. I gotta deal with them. When I'm looking at fiber optic sights, I'm looking at stuff. I'm not looking at the target.
Gotcha.
White sights I've grown up with. I know
it's personal preference still.
Yeah, it's got to be. Hey, I tell you what, if you get the chance, save a little money, just buy a normal one. Put in the Hive Technologies trigger.
Yeah, from when I had this gun completely stock without any Hive Technology stuff, The trigger that was supposed to be Performance Center was still a very gritty, sloppy trigger, the same two-stage trigger that's in this. Now, upgrading that trigger to the Hive one, I noticed a night and day difference. And that's a budget trigger, if you ask me, compared to some of the other ones that are out there, Apex and whatnot. The Monarch trigger is a cheaper, lower-end trigger, but it still is fantastic.
This video did not even start out as a Hive.
No, yeah, it's
to push Hive. I'm just saying.
I wanted to do a test between the stock Shield and the Performance Center, but I've done other upgrades, and I wanted to actually see if it's not just me thinking these upgrades are helping. Let's have a guy who hasn't shot either of these guns tell, and he can tell a big difference in that trigger, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I think I turned around and smiled on the first shot.
That's a trigger.
That's it. Woo! That's a trigger. I mean, it's not amazing, but compared to this,
it's a trigger.
It's pretty darn good. So
yeah, guys, we've been at it all day. We were at the shotgun range earlier. I got a feeling we're gonna do some more plinking and stuff with the ARs, get a couple little targets up, maybe shoot some more 9mm for a little bit. But yeah, guys, there's Randy's little judge and verdict on these two guns and the Performance Center plus the upgrades. Thanks for watching, guys. Like always, hit the subscribe button, maybe hit the like button. Go ahead and share it with your friends and family. And we'll see you in the next one.
Why you always gotta outdo me?
Just a gun. You missed completely. You couldn't even hit the. You couldn't even hit the. Here we go. Here we go. Hey guys. Here we go.